Welcome to my channel Adhyan with Flow. Chapter 12, Mineral Nutrition. Minerals are also needs of plants. Like plant needs perfect temperature, perfect heat, CO2 level, oxygen level, their environment condition. According to them, they also require perfect minerals amount. Okay, in this chapter we were going to discuss about all kinds of minerals that are necessary for plant. Some minerals require large in amount and some minerals are required small in amount. Let's begin our chapter. There are some scientists like Julius von Sachs. What they do, he is the botanist, and they demonstrate that yes, plant absorb what? Plant absorb minerals from soil. They need minerals, they need such kind of nutrients. So they give a theory, hydroponics. They give hydroponics technique. In this technique, what they do, look at here guys, they arrange this kind of setup. What they do, they take a plant, they take a green plant with their roots, and another side they add funnel like structure so they can easily add water and nutrition properly. And this is the aerating tube so they can air is easily pass. And this is the nutrient solution. So they one by one give their solution and taste. They add on solution and they taste like how much nitrogen they require, how much phosphorus they require, how much calcium they are required. So they give a theory like yes, minerals are essential for plant growth. Clear guys? Now clear? Let's read some experiment here. Experiment in which the roots of a plants were immersed in nutrient solution. Yes, their roots are immersed in nutrient solution. Yes, this term is clear. This is perfect. Wherein an element was added. Yeah, one by one we add and removed in a varied concentration a mineral solution. We can add and we can remove whatever we want to study. We put that kind of minerals and nutrition in this solution. By this method, essential elements were identified and their deficiency symptoms discovered. If I provide lots of minerals but I do not provide nitrogen, then this plant show the deficiency of nitrogen. They show some symptoms. Hydroponics has been successfully employed as a technique for the commercial production of vegetables such as this technique is still used in tomato, seedless cucumber, lettuce. Do you know what is lettuce? We eat burger now. We eat burger and there is some leaf-like structure here. Yes, that is lettuce. It must be emphasized that the nutrition solution must be adequately aerated to obtain the optimum growth. Yeah, this aerated tube will down here so they can easily air will pass. We sealed with this thing with cotton so outer small particle can't enter in this solution. If they enter in this solution, they can easily grow because this solution is nutrient rich. So we avoid contamination also. So this is the hydroponic techniques of Julius Sachs. Now another experiment will also occur. Another experiment, what they say, they divide essential minerals elements. They said some elements require high concentration, and some element require in less concentration. Yes, this technique will prove this. There are 105 minerals over there, and plant also makes 60 kind of minerals. Plant makes 60 kind of minerals, but we need only 10 to 20 minerals. But plant needs only 10 to 20 minerals. That's it. Definitely, plant can easily synthesize 60 minerals in their body. Yes guys, they require, because yeah, they can synthesize these minerals, but they are less. When they are less in number, so plant can absorb from outside. When they are less in amount, then plant can absorb from outside. These are the backup. So in this experiment, what scientists will do, they add one by one nutrients. They add one by one nutrient solution and then pump on, and this pump will circulate this kind of look at here guys, they circulate and come back here. So continuous flow. So continuous flow is maintained. So continuous flow is maintained. Look at this is the plant. Here is root over there, and here all kind of mineral passes. All kind of mineral passes. At one time nitrogen solution is passes. Other time phosphorus solution is passes. Another time potassium. So scientists will easily identify which minerals absorbed by plant in high concentration and which minerals absorbed by plant in a lower concentration. Okay, which I repeat, which element absorbed by in high concentration, we can also identify with this technique, and which component, which element absorbed by plant in a less concentration, we can also identify with this technique. We thought that radioactive things are not beneficial for plant. Yeah, we know that radioactive particles not absorbed by, not important for plants, but they can absorb also. They can absorb radioactive strontium. They can absorb this thing also. Yeah, they use very less concentration. They use very less concentration and deposit somewhere, but they can absorb if we take low. But if we provide high and higher amount, they become resistant. For example, gold and selenium. Gold and selenium, as mentioned above, are really necessary for plant. This, yeah guys, gold and selenium, this mineral, this compound is also useful for plant. Okay, so according to these experiments, scientists give some specific criteria that if any minerals and nutrition follow these three things, then this will be mineral. If any element follow these three things, then they will be naming as a element that are essential for plants. The first condition is if the element must be absolutely necessary for supporting normal growth and reproduction. Means element useful for normal growth and reproduction. They make reproductive organ, they provide normal growth to the plant. If that kind of mineral is absent in the plant, in the absence of the element, the plant do not complete their life cycle or set of seeds. If nitrogen, yes, this is the useful for normal growth. If we don't provide this, so plant, yes, that will be plant will be very badly affected. So nitrogen included in as a element. Now second condition, what is the second condition? The requirement of the element must be specific and not replaceable by another element. They want to say that if we do not provide nitrogen and if we provide calcium, but this calcium can't fulfill their absence. If calcium fulfills their absence, then this is not element. But if calcium provide in a large amount, but nitrogen is still absent and plant will show their absence, then this may be what? This may be element. In other words, deficiency of any one element cannot be made by supplying some other element. If calcium is deficient in plant and we provide potassium, no, they need calcium guys, so do not provide them potassium. Calcium have their own position in plant, nitrogen have their own position on plant, and potassium have their own position in the plant. The element must be directly involved in metabolism of plant. You know, nitrogen, they directly involved in nitrogen fixation, they directly contribute. Phosphorus, they directly contribute in DNA formation, they directly. Calcium directly form cell wall, yes, they directly form, then directly involved in the metabolism of the plant. So if any element fulfill this three criteria, they will include it as a element that are essential for plants. That's it, that's all about it. Okay guys, next, okay, there are some macronutrients and there are some micronutrients. What is the criteria of macro? According to their name, they require large in amount, and according to their name, they require low in amount. Clear guys? Let's start with macro. They are generally present in plant tissue and large amount. Means first term is they require large in amount and they present large amount in the plant body. The macronutrients include carbon. And you thought that carbon? Yes guys. The whole body made up with carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. the plant body made up with carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So they need in a very, very, very large amount, because they need non-stop, unstoppable. They need continuously. We plant require carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, calcium, magnesium. I'm writing here carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. This is a symbol of potassium. This is the symbol of calcium. This is the magnesium. Guys, they are most desire macromolecules. And this is the NPK ka magsasi. NPK ka magsasi. These are what, guys? These are also required in large amount. These are also macronutrients. This is the simple mnemonics, guys. I'm not focused on that much. NPK ka magsasi. I'm using this term for remembering. You can also use according to your convenience. So they are macromolecule, guys. They require they require mostly these minerals in a large amount. This is their parameter, 10 mmol kg of dry matter. Axis, they set the paimana. They need these macromolecules above this range. They need this macromolecule about this range. Now let's switch towards the micro or trace element. Means a small amount, not a big deal, are needed in very small amount, less than 10 mmol. They require less than this range. These include iron, magnesium, copper, molybdenum, zinc, boron, chlorine, nickel. I repeat again, what they require? Copper. They require copper. Then this is Q. Chlorine. They require chlorine, and then they require iron. This is symbol of iron. Then they require magnesium. They require molybdenum. Okay. They require boron, and they require nickel and zinc. These are micronutrients. They are micro, yes, they are micro, but they still require in plant. Clear, guys? And there are some other elements also. They are also beneficial for the plant. Sodium, silicon, cobalt and selenium. I added silicon here. They are required, guys. They are also macronutrients. They are required. Okay, guys? Here are some other essential criteria. Like we divide elements. Essential element can be grouped into 4 broad criteria. Means some minerals, some elements useful for energy, guys. So put them separated. Some molecules are useful for structural elements. Then put them other criteria. So they divide into 4 criteria. Like essential elements are components of biomolecules. Yes, if they contribute in structural element, they make their structural body. Which are elements made up make a structural body? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. CHON. Chons. Guys, this is also chons. But according to your NCERT, remember this 4. But they are also included, guys. They are also important for structural element. Chons. Next criteria is, this is the criteria 1 and this is the another criteria. Essential element that are component of energy related chemical. They contribute in energy, like ATP, guys. Like ATP. They provide ATP. Yeah, for ATP they take in this element. They take aside in this group. So magnesium useful in chlorophyll. Magnesium work as the energy source in chlorophyll. And phosphorus is useful in ATP. This is the energy form, guys. This is the, look at here, phosphorus. So these elements useful in energy contribution. Some essential elements that activate or inhibit enzymes. Some are responsible for enzymatic activities. For example, magnesium is an activator for both ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase and oxygenase. You know, na, guys? RUBP, Rubisco, guys. They participate in C3 cycle. Yes, because of C3 cycle, plant can form glucose, means food. So Mg plus 2 work as a activator for RUBP and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase and phosphoenol pyruvate acid. Look at here, guys. They also work as a peptidase. Yes, guys. They bind with CO2 as well as oxygen, but they bind with the CO2. They show higher affinity towards the peptidase. They show higher affinity towards the CO2 and oxygen. Both of which are critical enzyme in photosynthesis carbon fixation. Yeah, guys, we know. This participate in C4 cycle. this take participate in C4 cycle and this one participate in C3 cycle. Zinc is an activator of alcohol dehydrogenase and molybdenum of nitrogenase during nitrogen. We will study further, guys. This term is we will study in the last of the chapter. Some essential elements can alter the osmotic potential. Definitely they said this and this. Potassium play an important role opening of closing of stomata. We all are familiar with what is stomata, located on the surface of the leaf. So in our next video, we will talk about there are some role of nutrients, some macronutrients role and some micronutrients role. So that's all for now, guys. That's all for now. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you so much for hearing me. Keep smiling and revision. Guys, your exam is near. Revision, revision, revision. So that's all for now. If you still not subscribe my channel, guys, subscribe now. Subscribe. Thank you.